10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to DFW Roundtable Podcast, Texas' most powerful and entertaining podcast, bringing you the best and entertaining interviews from the industry's top music entertainers, sports athletes, and much more. So grab a seat and a cold one and watch, listen, and enjoy. And now here is your host, Ruben Campos.
Hey, and welcome back to the DFW Roundtable Podcast, everybody. And we are kicking off our new season with a bang. We've got a very special guest with us here today. It's truly an honor to present to you La Princesa de la Onda Tejana, none other than Jennifer Peña. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. It's great to be with you. Thank you for your time and your support, and thanks for having me.
Jen, truly an honor as a fan, as a follower to have you on. Truly blessed to have you on.
Thank you.
Before we go any further, I want to wish you a very happy belated birthday. You had a birthday in September, correct?
I did. It was so good. It was like an epic weekend, and it was good because it just had like a little bit of everything in it. I got to work, I got to be among fans, I got to be among friends, I got to have lots of fun. I got to go to Times Square. I got to, I had a really good time. It was a great
Gracias a
weekend.
Dios. That's amazing.
Great weekend. And
Yep.
oh my gosh, like all of the messages and love that I got that weekend, like everybody messaging me, DMs,
You got mine, right? You got mine?
Of course. Of course. You didn't get my response?
No, pero I'll go check again. I'll go check
All right.
again.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there. I'm sure
It's got to be there. But again, happy birthday, Jennifer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, you are just now launching your comeback. And what a comeback, Jennifer, did we see in Monterrey at Nortex. Wow, was all I got to say. How was that experience, Jennifer? After 16 years, you come back and you decide to say, hey, I'm going to Monterrey. I'm going to go play at a baseball field. And that thing was jam-packed.
It was
and what
awesome.
a way. Tell me about that.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Qué honor, ¿verdad? Nortex es un festival muy reconocido, muy famoso. It's already like, broken records and all kinds of things. So it definitely made sense. When we got the call about doing it, it was just something that made perfect sense for me. God's timing is so perfect, and his plan is always the perfect plan, because before we had a Chingonas con Coronas performance booked for September that was canceled. And so it just so happens that my first performance back after, the tribute last year, like counted, but didn't really count. But my first performance back doing all my music was in Monterrey. Like, what a perfect place. Yo siempre digo que Monterrey es el dueño de mi corazón. Monterrey, esa gente tiene mi corazón en la mano. Just because they've always been so supportive of me from the very beginning of my career, que yo sabía desde niña, a los 11 años, yo sabía que eso era algo grande. And everybody would tell me from the very beginning, like, man, if you got Mexico, if you got Monterrey, and it was like, okay, cool. So from the very beginning, Monterrey has just always me han recibido con los brazos abiertos from day one. Y siempre ha sido tan divertido para mí estar en un escenario cantando mis canciones. I just had such special memories with the people of Monterrey. The performances were always full of energy, positivity, everybody screaming, yelling, singing, all the words. And so, again, God's perfect timing for it to be that after so long of being on a stage singing my song, I get to do it again in Monterrey was just fitting. And it was perfect. And it was all that I dreamt and more.
Yeah, I agree. Their love for Tejana music is outstanding. They embrace Tejano. They've always,
they do.
And I think the biggest thing about Monterrey is that they show up, man. And
they do.
what I saw
they
in the videos, Jennifer, and they did, yes.
They did. Yes.
And what I saw in the videos was everybody singing every single word to your songs as you were
Yes,
singing.
and
It's
you know
like,
what? Like leading up to it, yo había visto tantos videos también. I knew that it was going to be great, and like I said, I knew it was going to be great. It still exceeded my expectations, but I did know it was going to be great because in the weeks leading up to it, I would see so many posts of people just like posting that they were listening to me on the radio, and they'd be like, "I'm catching up. I'm relearning all the lyrics. I'm practicing for Nortex." And it was like, yes, they
yeah.
get it. They got the memo.
Pues te recibieron con open arms,
Con los
como
brazos
siempre, ¿verdad?
abiertos, sí,
Y un
como siempre.
saludito para todos los de Monterrey. We got some followers out there. So San Nicolás.
Todos los regiomontanos.
Exactly. Un saludito de Jennifer
Un
y DFW
saludo.
Roundtable Podcast. Gracias por seguirnos aquí. Y aquí la tienen en persona oyéndola. So, siguen
Yes.
apoyando.
Gracias por
So
el apoyo.
So now let's rewind a little bit, Jennifer, because we talked about 16 years since you made your appearance, right? But man, you began your career at 12 years old, and
Yes,
I
I
still
did.
remember like it was yesterday when Ven a mí came out. That was your first single, right?
It was. It was my very first song on the
So
radio.
it kind of blows my mind, and I'll be honest with you. I think from an outside perspective looking in, to think of a 12-year-old take off like that. How was it for you as a 12-year-old to go out there, be touring, and then all of a sudden elevate to this Tejana star? Would you mind sharing what that experience was like?
You know, it was definitely a wave. It was a learning experience for me. It was all brand new, but I had so
Right,
much fun with it and I enjoyed it to the fullest. I mean, I was getting the opportunity to do what I love. And again, even as a little girl, I knew that it I saw it as something that was not something that happened all the time. So I still saw it as this must mean that this is like part of my purpose and part of my destiny if God presented this opportunity to me as an 11-year-old little girl.
right.
And so I just went with it and I enjoyed it, fully. It was, I kind of just feel like it's what I was born to do.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
mean, it must have, I felt it then and I feel it now. It was just evident. It was so clear,
yeah,
with the opportunity and I'm one to kind of look at the big picture perspective of it and see at the time it was like, okay, well, I got this great opportunity. I'm absolutely going to take it and I'm going to run with it, right? um, as the years went on, I learned and I understood that it wasn't just an opportunity given to me. I had to maintain that. I had to work hard to
right,
stay there. I had to work hard to continue that because it was hit or miss. And the success that I did experience in the beginning was also kind of another like sign for me. It was like I just kind of felt like God didn't give me this opportunity and then give me all this success if it wasn't for me. You know what I
right,
mean? And I guess
right,
I don't know if it was I can't say it was discernment then, as in just like a true understanding of it. I think I got that more as an adult. But at
right.
the time there was something clear to me and it was just honestly, I think it mostly came from the love I received. There was a lot of hate, but there was always so much love,
Oh
and
yeah,
it just
yeah.
always overpowered
I was just gonna
it's
say,
like
yeah,
it's like life in general. The good will always outweigh the bad. The
yes,
positive will always outweigh the negative if that's what you focus on. And
right,
so I had so much good happening to me every day, new experiences, learning about video shoots and photo shoots and studio sessions and all of these things that a little 11-year-old girl, I hadn't even dreamed of it because I didn't
right.
know it was a possibility, And so once I did, it just became very clear to me that it had to be my destiny.
Well, the admiration, to be honest with you, for somebody that age is you mentioned the negativity, right? Because there was some
There
negativity
was
from that perspective,
definitely.
right? But for an 11 or 12-year-old to handle it the way you did and just say, look, I'm putting that behind. I'm just focusing on the positive. It takes a special person, right? Then a lot of people don't understand or have a clue of how much work really it is to be a performer. And for because you went from a 12-year-old to a teenager, which were your prime years, right? And you were grinding it, you were hitting it hard. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of self-drive, and you did it, Jennifer. So kudos to you from that perspective. And man, I'm sure you went through some ups and downs, right? Because to go through that on a daily basis is not easy, but you handle it with such quite, I guess. I don't even have the words to describe on how you handle it. It was just so professionally done, and to see that from a young person and then mature into a teenager was pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Now your hits kept coming from Ven a mí. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And I would say from that end, I've seen, by the way, I'm a follower of your TikToks and I love your TikToks.
Thank you.
I was smiling. I always, one of the things I love about you, Jennifer, you always have such a positive attitude, man, smiling, joking. Is that the way you are daily? Really?
I really try. I really do. I mean, hey, in my daily life, there are a lot more things that kind of like pick at me, but I really do try to kind of always be positive. Like I just said, there's so much more positive in life, period. And so, I have my moments and I'll always try to check myself. Now, especially now, I'm very self-aware, self-conscious. It's like if I get in a mood or a negative like space, I am like so quick to check myself. I'm like, nope, none of that. There is no room for that. There is only room for gratitude. There is so much good in your life. You are not going to sit and think about, even for a second, the negative. And so I mostly try to stay in that positive space, because why would I waste my time on anything negative when there's so much good around me?
That's amazing. And I guess that's a good lesson for everybody else.
If anything, I mean, even in the moments where it seems like there may be nothing, I have 5 beautiful, healthy, gorgeous, amazing kids. I have my health. I feel good, and I know those are things that not everybody has to be grateful for. But I feel like even people in those positions who may not be, completely healthy, or may not have children who are completely healthy, or may not have even been able to have children, there are still so many beautiful things in this life. Even when it comes down to it, just look around. Just look around at the sky and the clouds and it's just life is super difficult, but life is beautiful as well.
Amen. Hey, what great advice, right? Especially nowadays with social media, right? There's a lot of negative that goes into social media, but it's only as bad as you give it, because the more attention you pay to it, the more power you give it, right?
Oh yes.
And if you just focus on good stuff,
that's another thing, that it's just like, if it's 99.999% positive, why would I ever let the 5 comments bother me, even if they're really ugly and mean? Even if they can like live here for a little bit, and I can tend to like go back to them a couple of times, and then that's it. It's like, I'm not going to allow myself to continue to go back to it. It's why would I do that when there's so much love and so much support and so much positivity?
And that makes
excitement. I love to hear that. I love to see the fans and hear them be like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe." And it's really awesome.
And that
Me
makes
siento honrada, de verdad, es un honor para mí, el cariño que siento todos los días.
And that makes you fuerte. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And empowering others, right? What great advice for that. Now, going back to, we were mentioning the hits, on how you kept them coming, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about this as far as some of your favorite things to do. But Jen, out of all the hits you had, man, if you were to pick just one, which one would you say was pretty special to you?
Ooh.
I know that's hard because you had so many.
That's a really hard one. Honestly, I think if I had to pick just one, Man, that's a really hard one. But if I had to pick, and not thinking of which one was my biggest hit, which one I saw more
Right.
people sing, like me.
Right.
I think Si Tu Te Vas is probably one of my all-time favorite songs to sing and perform, and just that the memories of that time that has to be
Jen, you hit the nail on the head. That's my
it.
favorite. That is my
Yeah.
favorite. Yes. First of all, your
No,
vocals are just, I mean, of course, every
thank
song you do,
you.
right? But that one, man, just hits home. So, gonna
Thank
put you in a
you.
little spot
No,
here.
it's so fun.
Would you mind doing a little bit of Si Tu Te Vas here?
Así tú te vas.
Yes, please.
Hold on, I
There you
wasn't.
go.
I'm just kidding. um, si tú te vas, ¿qué voy a hacer con lo que siento? ¿Qué voy a hacer con el vacío enorme que me quedé adentro? Bananana. Si tú te vas, si yo no puedo estar contigo, ¿cómo le explico al corazón cuando se muere de frío? Si tú te vas, te llevarás todas mis ganas de vivir. Si tú te vas de mí, amor sin ti.
Awesome. Awesome. Man, that was you just gave my Christmas gift there. Thank you so much. You can check my Christmas list off. Ruben done.
Anytime.
That's awesome, man. So yeah, that's a pretty special song. But you had so many, man. You had some great
I
ballads
did.
too, and
And
so
you know
forth.
what? The Nortex kind of made me revisit, really made me revisit all my hits, all my albums. And I was pretty proud. Honestly, it was the first time in so many years that I had looked back at my music and I was like, I have a extremely wide and
Yes.
amazing repertoire of good songs, like great
Yeah.
songs.
El amor de tu presencia was another one
El
because I
dolor
know
de
you
tu
released it
presencia
in a
was
cumbia.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, in a cumbia, in a ballad. You released that in several different ways, but man, that was
Yeah.
another big, powerful one.
That one
That
was. And that's kind of like El Dolor de tu Presencia was such a special song for my career. What it did, it was the song that kind of catapulted me to an international level. So that's why when you asked me, like automatically, I kind of want to go there, or Mundial, vamos al Mundial, or Vivo y muero en tu piel, hasta el fin del mundo. Those like
hasta
later
yes,
ones that really
yes,
kind of marked my career. And so
right.
that's where I tend to go, but that's why I said, just putting all that aside, like a song that I love to sing and perform would be Si Tu Te Vas, as well as those, but Si Tu Te Vas is
Yeah, as well as
so
mine. So thank you for that.
that was perfect. Lined up.
Now, what was cool about this too, again, it's funny how you see things, the trends kind of come back. But what was cool is you kind of set a trend there for a minute. You had a very successful collab with DJ Kane as well, right, from the Cumbia Kings. That song was pretty
Good.
cool as well.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how did that come about, and what was your whole experience with that? Because to me, that was another very cool song.
That was a very cool song. Again, Nortex kind of took me back, and I was like, man, that really was a jam. No wonder they liked it so much. It was a huge
Yes.
hit in Mexico and Monterrey. At the time, AB had kind of gotten involved and produced the Abrázame y Bésame album. And so, of course, he was working with Cumbia Kings. Cumbia Kings were, doing their thing, and they were at their peak also. We were both under the Q Productions umbrella, so it just kind of made sense. It was kind of that perfect fit. And the song was amazing. And then DJ's an amazing talent, and his
Yeah, I
voice
agree.
was incredible, and what he brought to it with that kind of soulful R&B type of
Hmm.
feel that he always puts to everything. It was really just, it's a great song, and it was a great performance. It was a great collab, and we had
It's
a lot of fun.
It's one of those, Jennifer, that has also your songs has stood within its time because when you hear it, people still jam to it. So
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
It's still a
and
jam.
I saw that on the video too. You can tell when you played that song, a lot of people were singing to it and so
Yes,
forth.
they
So
did. Hey, as a matter of fact, so the performance, I kind of asked them to sing with me, and it was like like I was doing the duet with them. So I felt like I got to sing a duet with my fans, and
Yep.
they came through and sang all the words and knew all the parts, and it was really cool.
By any chance, do you know what the head count was? Because it was packed.
I don't, I've been waiting for that number for a couple of weeks. I want to say that they had said the capacity was 25,000, and I know it was full. So
It was full.
I'm thinking somewhere around there, but
Yeah.
I don't have
It
the
was
exact.
completely packed because they would pan and you would just see
That
all the
was
way to the
awesome.
bag. Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Now, staying in the same realm of collaborations, right? As you see now with all the newer groups, that seems to be the trend going on. A lot of collabs happening between groups and persons.
I love that, by the way.
It's pretty cool.
I
It is
love
very
where we're
cool.
at in the industry.
And you could tell, Jennifer, that the people like it because anytime there's a collab song, it hits, right?
Yeah,
So if I was to
absolutely.
ask you now, if you had an opportunity, Jennifer, who would you like to collab with or join teams with to put out a new song?
That's really hard. Collabs were always like, I wanted to collaborate with other artists so bad. At the time, I mean, DJ Kane and Cumbia Kings made sense. You know what I mean?
Right,
And so
right,
really it ended up being one of the only collabs that I ended up doing besides the one with Daniel Renan. That was, again, it was like label, and he
right,
was
right.
releasing his first album and so on and so forth. But I, for all those years, like I was 11 years old, and I guess it was because I was so young that it didn't really I was the only kid in the industry. So there was
Right.
not very many other artists that it would have made sense to do, collabs with. So I never really got to do them. Um, and that's why I say I love where we're at in the industry right now, and that's the thing. I'm like, oh yes, I hope I get to collab with some people this time. I've definitely collaborated a lot with songwriting and production, and
Right.
the songwriters and producers. That's where I'm kind of at right now, experimenting with the sounds, experimenting with like ¿qué sale de Jennifer Peña cuando escribo con esta persona? ¿O qué sale de Jennifer Peña cuando ando en el estudio con esta persona? You know what I mean?
Right.
Y la vibra es diferente cada vez. So it's always going to be something different, but it's always going to have my essence because it's still always me. I'm the constant, right?
Agree.
Okay. So, to answer your question, I ya tengo una canción lista. And I really, really, really want Karin Leon to do it. Like
Oh,
cuando la escribí y cuando la grabé, I just heard his voice on it. And so I'm like, again, I think that's where it kind of like, that it's difficult because you have to pick, either musical genres or styles that are completely different and somehow fused together well,
right,
or
right.
are similar, or voices that are similar, or voices that are completely different and mesh well, or so on and so forth. So it's always, I mean, it's a lot goes into it. It's not just pick a person, right?
Agree.
Not
Agree.
everybody makes sense. Karin Leon, ya tengo la canción lista. I'm on a mission. I'm gonna get that duet. I'm gonna get that duet.
This episode is brought to you by Avante Party Rentals and Catering. Let Avante help you with your party or wedding needs. From tables, chairs, plates, silverware, to a full catering service, Avante can take care of it all. Call us at 214-680-5521 for a free quote, and let Avante take care of all your needs so you can enjoy your festivities.